Let's say that I found a 7-page, drippy, gooey Valentine letter that you wrote in junior high school to somebody in your class. I found that 20 years later in the attic. And I brought it down and I read 3 sentences from the 4th page. How bad could I embarrass you? And you would say to me, Bob, that's not fair. You got to read the whole letter. You got to know when I wrote that. You got to know when I wrote that to. Don't you hear God saying that to us? Because we do that every Sunday to His book. We pull a verse out of Genesis, a verse out of Matthew, 2 out of Paul, 1 out of Revelation, whip it together with our spin and say, God said, and God throws up over it. We say, but I got it from the Bible. A Bible that can mean anything means nothing. We don't want your cleverness. We don't want your life experience. We don't want your denominational training. We want the original inspired author to speak. Amen? Amen? So the worst thing we can possibly say first is, what does that mean to you? Who cares what it means to you? I'm not trying to be ugly, but who are you? Are you an inspired author? Did you walk with Jesus? Are you a first century Christian? You are absolutely not. So we've got to go back to what were they saying to their day as the parameter for what we say to our day. Now, before I leave that, it is absolutely true that once we understand what was being said, then we need to apply that to our day with the same power. Amen? Now, here is where your life experience is. Here is where your knowledge of the congregation. Here is where your theological training comes in. This is where you can take this truth and you can apply it with effectiveness. Yes, that's certainly true. But what we're doing today is we're starting with application and trying to find a text that fits our understanding. And that is just backwards. But it is the plague of the American church. And that's why we have a denomination on every corner, all claiming to be closer to the New Testament than their neighbor.